Of ICTer, LSEG technology. Technology is a global financial market infrastructure business. Its diversified global business focuses on information services, risk and balance sheet management, and capital formation. The group and sustainable economic growth by enabling businesses and economies to found innovation and manage risk. We have here with us today Mr. Osundar Parnaliyanage from LSCG Technology. Osundar has more than a decade's worth of experience as a software developer and an architect in the financial software domain. He has worked for Bloomberg, the world's largest financial information service company, for over 10 years in areas from trading to security infrastructure. He is now an associate architect helping to develop the post-trade risk product at LSEG Technology. So let's welcome Mr. Osundar Parnaliyanage to address the gathering.
Inspired by the ingenuity of our island ancestors, our identity is now a global force, and we will carry their legacy forward.
Hi guys, thanks for the introduction. Right, so I hope everybody can hear me fine. So yeah, as was introduced, I'm Osundar Parnaliyanage. I've worked in the financial market domain for more than a decade now. Started working in 2009 at Bloomberg and sort of worked on their trading platform, trading FX and futures and equities for about 3 years, and then 3 more years in the mobile backend team, and then about 4 more years in the security infrastructure team before I joined LSEG Technology down here. Currently I'm working on a product called Millennium Risk, which is a sort of risk management platform for the post-trade market. So that's my experience. And let's come to the topic that we've chosen today. So I know that this is, I'm following up a presentation which gave you Kissinger and sending birthday cakes over the internet. So it's going to be rather hard to do a follow-up act for that. But I'm going to try and keep it interesting. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to interrupt me at any point and ask. If not, I'll try and do my best to give you a sense of why we think innovation is so important and how we're putting money where our mouths are and actually executing this vision of innovation in the financial marketplace as a technology. So coming to a brief history of how technology has shaped financial markets. In the 2000s, you have to understand a bit of context to see how the 2000s were shaped by technology. Personal computers has just entered mainstream. It was becoming quite commonplace. Kids coming into the universities and the colleges knew what computing was. They had experience. So there was a large cohort of people who had experience programming from the ground up. And the sort of the influx of these people into the workplace created a situation where usage of technology became quite common. And at the same time, lots of trading was becoming automated. Previously, most of the trading had been done on a trading floor. You would have seen videos of people, shouting over each other, saying, using rather cryptic language to say, I'm buying 2,000 stocks of IBM, and somebody else saying, okay, fine, I'll sell you at that price. And then sort of exchanging tickets. So that was pretty much the norm up until the 1990s. But more and more of the trade was being shifted onto the automated platforms in the 2000s. And this is when everybody realized humans obviously have a certain limitation in terms of the speed at which they operate. Computers don't. You can make them as fast as you want, within reasonable boundaries, but there's always room for improvement. So speed became the weapon of choice of everybody in the marketplace. Every nanosecond counted. High frequency trading was the norm of the day. This is how crazy it gets. So everybody knows that say you get ADSL into your home, right? And now ADSL gets delivered to your home via copper wire, and that does not take a straight line from SLT to your house, right? It follows the roads and comes, there's a tunnel dug underneath the road, comes to a distribution box near you, and then from there on you get another line. So this is nowhere near the most straight line that you can draw from your house to SLT, the main connection for SLT. And believe it or not, those precious half nanoseconds that you save, because if you use a line of sight medium, then that becomes the shortest path in terms of speed of light. And we're not talking about large amounts of time here. These are parts of nanoseconds. And that became central to getting the best execution. So firms would build these microwave towers, because you obviously couldn't lay cables on a line of sight. People had homes in the middle of the line from the exchange to their firm. So they would literally build microwave towers to communicate directly with the exchange from their firm, just so that they could shave those precious nanoseconds off and get the best execution. They would put servers at the exchange itself, so that later on you wouldn't even have to come back to the firm. The firm was there with the exchange. And then people started innovating with FPGA-based code processing, because obviously programming a general CPU is a bit of a costly exercise in terms of the processing that you have to do. But if you could create in hardware the same thing, you could shave off the extraneous logic and just purely execute the stuff that you wanted. And those few nanoseconds again added up. Obviously, this arms race continued on for quite a while. And then we ended up with the flash crash of 2010. Before I explain what the flash crash is, let's watch a quick video of exactly what I'm talking about. this is so this is an example of how the markets worked up until 2010. So you get the time on your top left-hand corner, and the trading day is from left to right, and every line is a different day. So as time goes by, the vertical axis is how much market activity is taking place, and you can see how much this jumps towards the end of 2010, and it's on fire right now. This is 2010, 11, right? So yeah, that's what market activity looks like. It went from 2 years, starting from 2007. Within 5 years, that's how the market activity ended up. There was literally a 500% increase in the market activity. So within a 5-year period, the market activity increased 5-fold. That has never been seen before. Humans could not have, done that. That's basically the rise of machines. This is a video titled "The Rise of the HFT Machines," and it basically goes to show you how much of this activity was driven by the rise of the use of machines and by the automated trading, if you will. Right. So in 2010, obviously everything went belly up. The flash crash happened. Everybody realized, okay, this is not sustainable. So speed turned into smarts. Now the speed technology is commoditized. That nobody wants to use that. Now big data is where the technical battles are fought. You collect as much data as you can. You develop a mathematical model. You develop a machine learning model, and then you process the data through that, and then you take signals out to say, okay, do I trade? Do I sell? Do I buy? Do I hold? And then there's firms like 2 Sigma. You can probably look up their firm, who trade based on this and create returns that are vastly unheard of. I'm talking about more than 20% returns over 10 years. Nobody's ever done that before. And to feed into them, exchanges like the London Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange, they generate so much data, and so they've taken the other side of this and wholeheartedly embrace the business of generating data and enriching it and contextualizing it, so that the people who want to consume it, like the hedge fund 2 Sigma, will actually pay for it. So this has become a self-fulfilling cycle of technology. Now, technology adoption in financial markets. There's 2 different kinds of firms. People who are trading for their own accounts, hedge funds, mutual funds, and day traders, people who trade from their bedroom, that sort of people. They are always looking for an edge. So they want to make money, they need to make money, and because of that, they have a bigger risk appetite. So they would embrace new technology just as soon as it comes in. The people who buy Bitcoins just as soon as they heard about it, these are the people. So they have a large risk appetite and they embrace technology quite quickly. LSEC technology and exchange companies, they're not that bigger. They don't have a large appetite for risk. They're regulated pretty tightly. There's a lot of oversight by the governments because these are public institutions. So we tend to be quite cautious consumers of technology. We adapt it late and we use it for far longer than other participants would. Now, LSEC technology, even given that it's quite cautious in its adoption of technology, have started quite a few initiatives where we sort of, using the new innovations in the technology space for our systems. The first one is using machine learning for systems monitoring. Now, monitoring an exchange like London Stock Exchange, where millions of quotes are put in every second, and tens of thousands of trades happen every second. Monitoring this infrastructure can become exceedingly hard. Now, we've created software that gives the user a good UI to monitor the application, to see the health of the system, to make changes if required. But good UI can only go so far. And when they do detect the issues, then they're reacting. It's already happened. Something's happened, something's gone bad, a machine is down, an application has crashed. Then we are reacting to that. It's already happened. But how can we make it so that we can see that something's going to happen? We can see the load is too much to the system and something's going to crash. How do we proactively figure out if an issue is going to happen, and how do we prevent or mitigate it? So that's the question that we use machine learning to answer. So the basic idea, I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but the basic idea is that there's a diagnostic stream generated by the existing tooling. It generates lots of output, such as application logs, machine diagnostics, how much CPU is being used, how much memory is being used, how much disk activity, do we have enough disk space, do we have enough free memory, what's the network doing, all that sort of things. So we take the diagnostics stream and then we feed it into a machine learning module that uses it to generate operating instructions to say, switch off this machine and bring up this machine, or fail over this application onto this application, something like that. So something that is actionable. So the input for the human operators goes from this huge stream of structured data to these little blips of action, bubbles saying do this and do that. So that is a huge decrease in the cognitive load that they have. So this allows them to perform better at their job and react quickly to the situations that arise. So in terms of technical details, I think they're looking at artificial neural networks, gradient boost, and SVMs as options for what they can do within what they can use within the ML module. Obviously, we want to take it further and not just make it give recommendations to the operators. We want to make sure that when it can, the system will take corrective action by itself and heal itself. So if there's more load than we can handle, maybe we can spin up a new system to take the load off the existing one and sort of process it parallelly, something like that. So so the ultimate goal is to make sure that the machine itself can respond to the signals that are generated from the machine learning model, and keep the system up with minimal user interaction. Right. Next off, homomorphic encryption. So for post-trade specifically, this is all driven by this this trend in the technology market, not in the financial market, just in the financial market, but in technology market in general. People no longer own their own service, right? They don't have their own service. They don't, buy a computer off a rack in somebody else's data center. They just rent it from a cloud company, be it AWS, Azure, or GCP, whoever it is. People tend to use the cloud much more often than previously. But the cloud is just someone else's computer, right? So you have no idea where it's hosted. You have no idea who has access to it, who has physical access to it. It may be in a data center where people come in and go, like third-party contractors. So nothing is really guaranteed about how this computer operates. You don't own it, you don't see it, so you have no idea how it's operating. And due to that, there's a there's a huge demand for encryption and related technologies that make sure that your data cannot be read or leaked out to the outside world. So data at rest needs to be encrypted. Data in transition needs to be encrypted, but there's a problem with it. So there's a company called Symphony, for example, who started out as a competitor for Bloomberg, and their value proposition was, we encrypt everything, right? We encrypt everything. It's end-to-end encrypted. Even we don't have the keys for that, like Signal or form of WhatsApp. And we don't have the ability to see what you're sending. So anything that you send, only you can see. But the problem is, the moment that they did that, the vast amount of data that travels through them, they cannot enrich it in any way. They cannot manipulate it. They don't see the structure of the data. It just becomes random noise for them. But is there a way that we can have our cake and eat it too, right? So how can we have the data, operate on it, enrich it for you, but also make sure that even the operators of the application cannot see the data? That is where homomorphic encryption comes in. It allows us to operate on the ciphertext, the output of the encryption operation, the ciphertext itself, and then transform it, search it, query it. That's all that sort of operations on it. So there's different encryption schemes, that allows different sort of operations. Camel may allow you to do addition operations, search, that sort of thing. But all of these are converging on the idea that ciphertext can be operated on by itself without actually decrypting and getting the plain data out. So the Holy Grail is a scheme that allows arbitrary manipulation of data. We're not there yet to do this on a feasible technological budget, but we're getting there, and we're quite sure that technology will catch up to that. So the previous two were proof of concept systems that we implemented, but this is an actual concretely implemented system that is running on production right now for the London Stock Exchange Group. We basically use hardware acceleration in terms of GPUs to take the advantage of data parallelism in the mathematical models that we have to calculate. So these models can be run independent of each other for different streams of data, and GPUs are a perfect example of doing that. So you can set up different pipelines and then run them all through at the same time, and that gives us the ability to scale up as much as required just by adding more GPUs. And obviously, we've built a way for us to transparently switch on to the CPU mode if somebody says, we don't want GPUs. Right. So I know I've run through a whole gamut of technology from machine learning to encryption to hardware acceleration using GPUs. But what does all of this mean to you? So at LSEG Technology, we offer you a chance to work with interesting technology. That's our goal. That's our value proposition for you. We give you the opportunity to work with interesting technology. It's not maintaining a legacy application that was written 20 years ago, just adding more lines to it. It's the ability to, it's the opportunity to experiment with and come up with new ideas and toy with interesting new technology. And also knowledge. As you can see, I may have used more than a couple of industry terms, which you may have to look up later. I fully acknowledge that. But the good news is, if you do join us at Technology, we can teach you what all of those things are about. Finance is a vast domain which has its own vocabulary, its own terms. There's a lot of domain information. We can help you navigate it once you join us at Technology. And we bring the passion to the table. We're passionate about exactly what we build. We want to build the best products that we can. We want to collaborate and build the best products that we can for our clients. And that is our goal. So my end message is, come build with us. So anybody has any questions?
So if there are any questions, the audience can ask them from Osinde now.
Or feel free to reach out to our university engagement team. I'm sure you can find the contact details through the organizers.
Sure. Yeah, so so I think we can move on.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you, Osinde. Thank you very much for taking your time off today to be with us and deliver this speech. And
Sure.
also thank you for the support you provide for ICTer 2020. So stay safe and thank you for joining.
Thanks for the time. Thanks, Shani.
So moving on, we have 2 parallel sessions lined up for today for technical paper presentations. Session 4A is based on natural language processing, while session 4B is on human-computer interaction. So you can join these sessions on Microsoft Teams. I hope you will have a lovely day. Take care.